and I know you don't want to get negative. Have you heard anything about Roy Herron's connection to Ray Davis's Ponzi scheme in Milan, Tennessee? If you haven't, that's okay, but I just wondered if you have.
You know, on the campaign trail, you hear all sorts of stuff. I believe about half of what I hear and about half of what I see now. We're going to stick to the issues of less government, lower taxes, against more stimulus bills and more bailouts. I'm not going to get in the gutter and run false negative campaigns against my opponent. I'm just not going to do it. But we are going to tell the truth. And the truth is, the voters of the 8th District deserve better than that. And that's what we're going to do. Yes, sir.
2 points. First, you made mention a moment ago of the stimulus money being used to buy out General Motors. It wasn't the stimulus money.
No, sir. Yeah, no, sir. No, I wasn't referencing the stimulus money to buy General Motors.
The money to buy General Motors came from Mr. Bush's bank bailout bill in October of 2008. It was redirected by the Obama administration. And then General Motors went and announced that they're going to open up a $500 million manufacturing plant in Mexico. So that makes me mad. However, you have announced that you want to eliminate government regulation of business insofar as possible. But it was the deregulation of the banking business that caused the October 2008 meltdown financial. What can we do to limit the power of our financial institutions in an unregulated environment?
Thank you. First of all, we the people own 61% of General Motors. And now the Obama administration is talking about selling a huge part of that, if not all of the 61%, to China, which I think is a bad idea. For China, they're not only on a lot of our debt, but now our car manufacturing. The second part of your question about the problems with the financial meltdown is Congress just passed financial reform. And it dealt with everything except what needed to be dealt with, Fannie and Freddie. What happened, a lot of what happened in the financial meltdown was caused by more government involvement in the private sector. A scheme of what they call redlining, where they would draw lines around certain areas and force banks to make loans that people couldn't pay back. Then Fannie and Freddie would take and buy those loans back, and everybody expecting the housing market to keep going like it was going on an upward journey. And then what happened? Things started to collapse. They couldn't sell the loans. People started going belly up. And that's what happened. We need less government in all facets. And the financial meltdown was caused by Fannie and Freddie, and we did nothing to deal with those problems when we just passed this financial reform bill. I had a fella tell me last week, he's a banker, he owns a bank up in Dixie. He said, Stephen, if the Republicans do not take control of the House, at least the House in November, I'm selling this bank. Because of all of the regulations that the federal government is pushing down on those banks, they're having to hire more people to fill out more forms, and it's just more bureaucracy at the local level.
It wasn't the government that created credit default swaps and CDOs. It was private, unregulated banks and insurance companies. And that's where the problem is. We could have lost every one of those $2 billion so-called toxic mortgages for $406 billion. But for some reason, we needed a $700 billion banking license. The numbers don't add up. We were scammed. We were scammed by the banks. And then there needs to be some regulation to control the banks and to control these entities that are investment firms that are outside of regulation altogether. What can we do?
Well, once again, I don't think that, and we see this with the EPA, we see this